Hello, my name is Beau and I'm a Chelsea and Macclesfield fan.
Hello again, my name is John, I am Beau's dad and I am a Man United fan.
Now, this is episode 8 of the podcast the podcast.
It's been a while.
Yeah, this is the second one of the year and we are in December. The last one we did was in January. So it's been pretty much nearly a year.
Yeah, but you've been busy, haven't you, Beau, with
That's
uni
true,
and that
yeah.
lot, you know.
So we're just going to get straight into it. We've just passed Gameweek 16 of the Premier League campaign. So we will start with the infamous Manchester Derby, which was yesterday. It was a 2-1 win to Man United.
I didn't expect that, you know. Really didn't expect that. Probably like a lot of people, to be honest with you.
I think with City, they've only won one of their last 10 matches, which obviously proves to be a poor run of games. And, you know, they initially led. They were 1-0 up, and then we had 2 late goals from a Bruno Fernandes penalty and a Mad Diallo, which was a couple minutes later.
Yeah, it was. We watched it, didn't we? And it was. I mean, I know City opened the score sheets, and you just thought, are they going to win this against City? But looking back at the stats, I mean, the level of possession United actually had in that first half was quite impressive, really, when you consider they were playing Man City. But like you were saying, the games that City have lost in the last 10 games, there's something really worrying going on there.
Yeah.
I said to your mum at the beginning, looked at Pep's interview before the match, he cut a really dejected figure. You know, for a man with so much experience and as good as he is, he looked lost.
Yeah. I think, what do you think has happened at City? Because there's obviously, we all know Pep Guardiola is one of the best managers in the Premier League, if not the
world.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to put your finger on it. I mean, has all these, you know, the charges and stuff that have been put against him?
Yeah, it's been risen to 130 now, hasn't it?
Yeah, you know, do you think that's playing a massive thing, you know, issues behind the scenes? Because, I mean, yeah, they've got one of the top players out, he's injured, but it's still the same team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't go from, well, they have done, but it's difficult to watch the same team going from, like, you know, playing superstar football, just walking all over everybody, to not really looking like what they're doing, you know, on the football pitch. And I don't know, it's a strange one. I don't know.
It is really strange. So we know that Mason Mount was injured 12 minutes into the match.
I feel sorry.
I was not happy about that.
No, he's one of your favourite players, isn't he? I feel sorry for the lad. He just can't get a break.
Yeah.
You know, he just seems to pick up injuries. I felt really sorry for him.
Yeah, it was like one of his first games playing in the first 11.
Yeah.
So he hasn't been getting much game time. To be fair, and I'm obviously saying this as a Chelsea fan, but I really think he should have stayed at Chelsea because obviously
he was getting more game time.
Yeah,
he was getting more game time.
Plus, he went through the Chelsea academy, so it would have been staying loyal to the club.
Yeah. I mean, just switching sides there from going from City back to United. United's new manager, I mean, what do you think up to now? We know up to press, he's not been there long, but
I think he's doing pretty decent.
Yeah.
Considering, obviously, you had won with, I think you won three games with Mr. Roy.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think he's doing pretty good so far, considering with all the stuff behind the scenes with the ownership and whatever.
Yeah. I mean, you can see what he's trying to do with the team that's different to Ten Hag, and I think the players like what he's trying to do. He's only a young manager, really, isn't he? What is he, 39 years old? But he looks the part, you know. He seems to know. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm quite impressed with him.
So we know that there was a little bust up in the match between Kyle Walker and Hoyland. They were both yellow carded after touching heads. And
to be honest with you, I didn't see the first incident until after the replay, and it looked like Walker just shoved Hoyland over for whatever reason, whether they'd been having a tussle through the match.
Yeah.
But then they just had a clash of heads, didn't they? And Walker went down like a sack of spuds.
Yeah, I think.
You know, I mean, for me, if they both got booked, and if you didn't get booked for shoving him over, that booking should have been for falling over on the floor.
Yeah.
Theatrical, because he's gone down in my estimation anyway.
I think to me it was like. I think it was just embarrassing and unnecessary. It was
I think he'll watch that back and he won't want to see that one again.
Kyle Walker's a 34-year-old footballer. Like, he shouldn't be doing that.
No, and he's. I like the guy. I like Kyle Walker. Yeah. He's a consummate professional. I think he's.
I think with Hoyland as well, he's a young player.
Yeah.
So I do think he's obviously learning.
I think Carl he let himself down a little bit, didn't he? And I'm sure he'll learn from that. I don't think he'll be doing that again in a big hurry.
So this was United's first league derby win since January last year.
Is it that? Right, yeah. Okay.
So yeah. I thought it was a bit longer than that.
I did.
We always seem to remember City just winning every game, but no, it was actually a bit more recent than that, which is quite surprising.
So yeah, it was a good game.
I think one last question on the derby: do you think City's hopes of being in the title race have diminished?
If they carry on playing the way they are doing at the minute, they've got real problems. They've got real problems. But we're talking about Man City here. You even though they have lost the games that they've lost at the minute, that team is still a very dangerous football team to play against. And that, it only takes a short, a small change of fortunes, and they could be back on top again. The teams above them, they've only got a slip, and we won't go too much into it, but Liverpool drew, didn't they, at the weekend?
Yeah, they did, That was surprising, seeing their first in the league.
Yeah, so it doesn't take much, a couple of draws from the other teams and that, and you start firing in all cylinders, and you're right back in it again.
Yeah. So we'll move on to the next game. It was my team. Chelsea against Brentford. We won 2-1.
Yeah, they are. I'm quite impressed with Chelsea at the minute. They are. They're up there, aren't they?
Yeah, they're 2 points behind Liverpool in second. But do you think that Chelsea are in the title race with Liverpool?
Absolutely.
You think?
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely, yeah. They just don't seem to be doing much wrong at the minute, do they? They're playing some half-decent football. I think they are. If they continue the way they are going, yeah.
But I saw that Maresca in his post-match conference, he said Chelsea are not ready to compete in the title race. So what are your thoughts on that? Smoke and mirrors. Okay.
Bit of mind games going on there, I think, now. Mind games.
Yeah, I don't know. I think obviously if we keep playing the way we are, I think Maresca's doing a brilliant job.
Yes,
at the helm at the minute.
At the beginning of the season, they did look a bit all lit, bit wishy-washy. But as the games have come along, they're looking quite a good unit. Good, there's quite a lot of goals in that Chelsea team.
Yeah, I think considering it's a mostly young team, we've got, even though people say we've got like 200 players in our squad.
How many?
But yeah, I think we could have a chance. Yeah. It's just injury wise, I feel like.
Cucurella got his first goal for the club as well, didn't he?
He did, but his, what's the word? His excitement didn't last long, because at the end of the game, he got a yellow card at the 95th minute,
right,
and then 3 minutes later he got a red card.
Yeah, what did he get the red card for, though? Can you remember?
Or is he just, I didn't watch the game, so I can't remember. Was
it a straight red, or was it just a...
Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah. But yeah, so Chelsea have a consistent run of victories now. We are 34 points, which are 2 points behind Liverpool, second. However, Liverpool have a game in hand.
Yes, they do, yeah. I don't know who that next game will be for Liverpool, actually.
But I read something, so Chelsea are the only team out of 4. So that is Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal and City, I believe. Chelsea are the only team to win this past game week.
Right,
which is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is actually. It's an interesting stat, that, Beau. Interesting stat, yeah.
However, Nottingham Forest are 4th at the minute.
Yeah,
they've got 28 points.
They're the surprise up there, I think, aren't they? Notts Forest.
I think we have Bournemouth and Fulham in 7th and 8th as well, which they would normally be like bottom
you'd
end of the table, wouldn't they?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I mean, you've got
Poor United in 13th. That's not good to see.
We won't talk about that, shall we?
So we'll move on. After this game week, we've had 2 managerial sackings, haven't we, Dad?
Mm-hmm.
So Wolves have sacked Gary Neal after a 2-1 loss to Ipswich. It was Wolves' 4th defeat in a row, and they are now 19th in the table.
It's a cutthroat league, isn't it? The Premier League. You have to grind out the results, and some of these, smaller clubs, if they don't, see the results as they need, they feel like they need to do something, I suppose.
Yeah. They have took 9 points from 16 matches and have conceded 40 goals through them 16 games.
Wow. Yeah, that's a hell of a start, that, isn't it, really?
Yeah, I think O'Neill blamed the defeat on individual errors from the players, but their ex-captain, Mario Lemina, was stripped off his captaincy after a scuffle after their 2-1 loss to West Ham on Monday.
Right.
So that might have like a contributing factor.
Could be, Beau, yeah, could be, yeah.
And then the other manager sacking was at Southampton. They sacked Russell Martin after a big thrashing defeat from Spurs, to 5-0 thrashing.
Yeah, I mean, they had to do something, didn't they? I mean, 16 games, 5 points.
Rock bottom in the table.
Yeah, rock bottom at the table. I mean, minus 25 goal difference. Yeah, they're struggling, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're struggling, unless they can have a change of fortune. They've got a hell of a fight there to get out of them, but that bottom 3.
They're 9 points away from being out of the relegation zone, and they have only just won once this season.
Yeah, they've got to do something pretty drastic down
there. They need to get their backside. Well, both Wolves and Southampton need to get their backside into gear.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm surprised to see Wolves where they are. They're usually a middle table team down there. They struggled. They've struggled this season so far. But, we're only 16 games in. Things can change.
Yeah.
Things can change.
So it's been confirmed that under 21's head coach Simon Ross will take over on an interim basis.
All right.
Now that Southampton are due to play in the Carabao Cup Quarter Final against Liverpool on Wednesday.
Ooh.
So
Tricky.
that's with having a manager sacking and an interim coach against a team that's first in the Premier League.
Yeah.
That's going to be hard.
Yeah, I mean, we can have a quick look at that if you want. But we can maybe do some predictions, maybe.
Yeah.
So Wednesday, Carabao Cup, we've got Arsenal and Crystal Palace.
Oof. So Arsenal are drew 0-0 to Everton this past game week.
Yeah, they've tripped up a little bit like Liverpool, haven't they?
Yeah, and Crystal Palace have beaten Brighton 3-1 at home.
Mm-hmm. So they're going into that on a win, really, aren't they, Crystal Palace?
Yeah.
Arsenal, a draw. But for the game, Carabao...
Practically derby, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah. I'm expecting Arsenal to win that.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to go, with it being a cup game, I'm going to go 2-1 Arsenal on that. What do you reckon?
I'm going to go 3-1 Arsenal.
3-1 Arsenal, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the next game, Beau?
Well, both teams been hit with 4 injuries, and Palace have won 2-1 against Villa to get through to the quarters, and Arsenal won 3-0 against Preston North End to get through.
Got you.
Next game, Dad?
We are looking at Newcastle and Brentford.
So, Newcastle just won to Leicester 4-0. And obviously, Brentford losing 2-1 to Chelsea. Now, their past cup game, Newcastle won 2-0 against Chelsea to get through. And Brentford won 5-4 on penalties against Sheffield Wednesday.
Right, okay. You've got a whole lot of stats there, Beau.
So they both have been hit with quite a few injuries.
Yeah. I could see that being a draw. I could see that.
You think?
Yeah, I could see that being I think Newcastle could edge it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could see it being a tough game. That.
I think.
I mean, they're both middle of the table. They're both middle of the Premier League at the minute.
Yeah.
Newcastle just slightly above Brentford. I could see that being a tough game, but maybe Newcastle just edging it. I wouldn't like to guess on a score. Maybe 1-0 Newcastle.
Yeah, I reckon it's going to go penalties.
You think? Yeah.
Yeah, I think 2-2, but Newcastle win.
So you reckon there's goals in that game then, yeah?
Yeah, I think Newcastle's going to win 4-2 on penalties.
Okay.
Yeah.
Called it. Next game, Beau.
So next we have Southampton versus Liverpool, which you just briefly mentioned. Southampton lost 5-0 to Spurs, and are managerless, if that's even a word.
Yeah, I mean, without sounding too disrespectful, Southampton, I think it's a no-brainer. Liverpool are going to breeze that one, aren't they?
Yeah. They both...
I'm probably going to go for a 3-0 Liverpool there.
Okay. They both have a few injuries. Liverpool won 3-2 against Brighton to get through. And Southampton won 3-2 against Stoke City to get through to the quarters.
Okay.
So I think I agree with you, Dad. I think that's got Liverpool written all over it.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm going to go with 2-0 Liverpool.
2-0. Okay. Not as optimistic as me, but yeah. Next game will be on Thursday, and that will be Tottenham versus Man United.
Oof, big game.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting game. That.
Shall I hit you with some stats?
Go on, hit me with some stats. Bro.
So, Spurs won 5-0 to Southampton, like we know.
Yeah.
United won 2-1 against City. Now, Spurs have several injuries, but United only have a few. So that could play an impact in Spurs.
Yeah. And I think and I know it's my team, I'm talking about it. The more these players play under this new manager, I think that they're getting better at the system that he wants them to play.
Yeah.
They're both going into the game, on Premier League wins. Obviously, United won the derby. Tottenham gave Thingy a thumping, didn't they, 5-0. So I think they're both going to be high on confidence.
Yeah.
But like you were saying about the injuries, is that going to play a factor in the game?
Yeah.
Time will tell. What's your prediction for that one, Bob?
I reckon it's a tough one because they've both been doing good, especially with Spurs absolutely thrashing Southampton. I think Spurs are gonna cause an upset.
You think? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see it going to penalties, but if we go to extra time.
Yeah. I think 2-1 Spurs.
2-1 Spurs.
Just
I'm going to go 2-1 United.
Oh, okay.
But that's, probably a bit of bias going in there. But I respect what you said there. I'd say they're both confident after the last games. It's a tough one to call.
Yeah.
Tough one to call.
Well, we'll have to see midweek, won't we?
We certainly will.
So, that is it for the podcast, Dad, for the second podcast episode of the year and probably the last one of the year.
Yeah, it'll be the last one of the year.
So that is it. Thank you very much for listening. Obviously, my name is Beau, and
I am Beau's dad, John.
And we'll see you in the next podcast episode, whenever that will be.
Yeah, hopefully soon.
Yeah, hopefully.
So, have a lovely Christmas and a Happy New Year, peeps.
Right, see you soon.
Bye.